Digital Engineering Award in association with ISG L&T Technology Services, CNBC TV18.
Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Digital Engineering Awards, a very, very warm welcome to a special night. My name is Samir. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at L&T Technology Services, and my colleague, John, is a partner at ISG. Wow, what a night. I have never seen so many well-dressed engineers. I only recognize engineers in jeans, ruffled up hair, and so on. December 6th, which is today, is a milestone date. It was exactly 2 years back. It was Gaurav, Prashant, and me and John were having our annual holiday party, drinking away merry, and we brainstormed and ideated about this platform. And that's where the journey started, and this is the second edition which we are doing over here. LTTS is a pioneer in engineering innovation and wanted to create this platform to basically celebrate triumphs, tribulations, successes, and challenges engineers face on a daily basis. And no better platform and a playing field for engineers and enterprises to excel. John?
Samir, thank you. And it's just great to be here. Again, I thought I was potentially overdressed for an engineering party, but this is actually, I feel appropriate, so this is good. Look, digital engineering has come a long way. It's one of the most exciting things that's happening in our industry from a technology space in the last 3 years. I'll give you a perfect example. I was going to talk about my experience going through Clear and the digital engineering that was involved there, but even better, I was speaking with John and Beth at the cocktail reception, and they're part of Loctite, which makes adhesives. Yeah. And so you say to yourself, what's adhesives have to do with digital engineering? And actually, an adhesive company is actually looking at how to utilize digital engineering to create sensors inside of areas that are difficult to get to. So the idea of firms that were not in digital engineering 3 to 5 years ago that are now exploring it makes this even more and more of an exciting industry. So Samir, super excited here. And look, there are a lot of heroic efforts, pioneers, and unsung heroes, and that's what tonight is about. Tonight is about celebrating all of you, all of your accomplishments, and everything you've done. Over 90 global organizations have applied to over 200 applications and submissions for tonight's awards. I mean, everything from Caterpillar to GE Healthcare. Give this group a big round of applause. Philips, Honda, I mean, this is just great stuff. And 30 finalists tonight will actually be sharing the honors this evening of across engineering and making this big change. Samir?
Wow. And I was wondering, you know, we're talking digital, and I have paper, and you have digital.
Yeah.
You're digital, but I'm an engineer.
You are an engineer.
So it's digital engineering.
You're more of a marketing guy. I think I'm a little more digital tonight.
The reality is, you know, we took a 3-year clear roadmap for digital engineering to celebrate engineering, which leverages technology. And today we recognize stars of our engineering world. We have 2 broad categories. One is the team awards, which is engineering the change, under which we have 5 categories in which we'll recognize people. And the core tenets for that are innovations, value, delivery, and impact. The individual awards is basically engineer at heart, and its number of innovative projects that they have done, patents filed, global delivery models of different design centers across the world leverage, and impact, not only on business, but on people, next generation of engineers, and bringing in diversity into play in the engineering play field. It's overwhelming to see all the enterprises using all the new age technology, including the latest top of the hype curve of Gen AI. And we had Gen AI applications too. And that was the wow part of it. CNBC TV has been following this space and has partnered with us to amplify this information and amplify the great work which the engineering sector is doing across the world. So kudos to CNBC TV to joining us. John, over to you.
Yep. Yeah, let's give a warm welcome to Jude Sajundran, the CNBC 18. Where are you? Thank you so much for being a sponsor of this event. And our esteemed judges this evening. We've got a lot of esteemed judges, including Suja Chandra, Board of Directors of Cardinal Health, American Eagle Outfitters, Brentag SC, and Agenda Inc. Suja was previously head of technology at Walmart, Kimberly-Clark, Nestle, and Timberland Company, so knows a little bit about digital. So that was one of our judges, along with Jim Austin, faculty consultant, Wharton Business School, adjunct professor, and Brown University president, and Samir Hasija, Dean of Executive Education at INSEAD. So these are very just wonderful judges. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, ISG took part in this as well, and just so I had a little bit of ISG up here, I also made sure I wore my ISG socks.
Whoa,
So,
I need to get one.
That's my engineer, my inner engineer in here.
I had a connected socks.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, good, good. As long as we're, got the vibe going on the socks. Okay, and then we also had 3 great judges from ISG. Steve Hall, our president of EMEA and ISG partner. Prashant Kelkar, chief strategy officer, ISG partner, and leading our America's Consulting Group. And Gaurav Gupta, ISG partner, leading global head of engineering and ISG. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Unfortunately, Ms. Deb Jani and President of NASCOM and Professor Marcus from Coventry University could not join us this evening, but thank them also for participating and being part of this event. Now look, this wasn't an easy decision. I mean, I talked to Prashant, I talked to Steve, I talked to Gaurav, and they were up countless nights eating Cheetos and drinking root beer and trying to make this decision, and it was just tough.
You're lying. He was having vodka.
All right, there might have been a beverage involved that wasn't Coca-Cola or root beer. But needless to say, in a more serious, without the jest, look, this was a tough decision. These are really meaningful decisions that have to be made. There's some exciting things that are happening in the marketplace, and so it wasn't easy for these judges to make these decisions. And tonight we're going to really look at this as an intensive, unbiased approach to making these decisions, and the winners will be announced.
All right. Our mission is to be a leader in globally recognizing engineering, fostering innovation in digital engineering is what we are looking at. We will take every opportunity to publicize, promote not only the nominees, finalists, the winners, but great work which is getting digital engineering. We're going to be putting a platform across for building a community so that we can collaborate with each other to inspire not only the next generation of STEM graduates, but also our colleagues in our enterprises so that we can push the envelope and engineer the change. Everyone who has applied over here is a winner. It's the spirit of innovation and engineering community which will gain.
Samir, tonight we are making a difference in engineering and digital engineering. And what I would encourage you to do is take photographs, take selfies, make sure you post this, because this is the room that will help exploit and bring out the relevance and the importance of digital engineering and what we're doing. I now want to hand it over to our MC tonight, one of my favorite people, Karen Moulter, who will take over for the rest of the ceremony. Karen?
Thank you, Samir. Thank you, John. Thank you so much. I have to concur. I'm looking around the room and everybody looks spectacular. Even those ISG socks that John is sporting. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. On behalf of ISG, L&T Technology Services, and CNBC TV18, I would like to officially welcome you to the 2023 Digital Engineering Awards. Tonight, I have the distinct privilege and pleasure of being your host as we honor your achievements in engineering and R&D, which of course are at the very heart of our mission. Now, take a look around this room for just a moment. Take a look at your table mates, your colleagues, your friends. I mean it. The people assembled here tonight in this room, they represent the very best in innovation, excellence, and transformation. Your talent and ingenuity have touched almost every area of our lives. That is a testament to your excellence and your dedication. So before we begin, here is to you, the change makers, those who inspire, educate, illuminate, entertain, sustain, and transform. Without all of you, our world and our individual places within it would be just a little bit duller, I think. So I do thank you, each and every one of you, for boldly forging a path and creating the future that we all want to see. How about a quick round of applause for all of tonight's nominees and finalists? Yes. Indeed. Now, you've already heard a little bit about tonight's very prestigious panel of judges. They've had the privilege of reviewing a very impressive list of nominees. You have certainly not made their jobs very easy. From the initial seeds of an idea to final execution and actualization, tonight's finalists have proven themselves to be most worthy recipients. Again, we are welcoming our media partner this evening, CNBC TV18. Right now, I do want to bring up to our stage our distinguished panel of judges. Please do hold your applause until I have introduced everybody. We're joined tonight by Jim Austin, faculty consultant, Wharton Business School adjunct, assistant professor, Brown University president, and J.H. Austin Associates Inc. Come on up. You bet. We've got Suja Chandra. You heard about her, serves as board director, Cardinal Health, American Eagle Outfitters, Brenntag SE, and Agendia Inc. She was previously head of technology and digital at Walmart. Kimberly Clark, Nestle, and the Timberland Company. We have Stephen Hall, President ISG EMEA and partner Digital Advisory Services. Samir Hasija, Dean of Executive Education, INSEAD. And finally, Prashant Kelkar, partner and chief strategy officer, ISG. And I do want to bring up our special moderator for the evening. This is Jude Sanit Sujendran. Come on up. Hopefully he's got his microphone swapped out and he is ready to go. How about a nice round of applause for our panelists and our host?
All right, let's take our seats.
I'm honored to be here.
My right.
And we have one more joining us, Gaurav Gupta, who heads engineering for ISG.
Yes. All right. Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
All right, sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, at the outset, I'd like to welcome you all to what I hope will be not just an insightful chat into the goings-on of digital engineering, R&D, and Gen AI, since we live in a world that is full of it, but one that I hope will also throw some light on the process of picking nominations and eventually choosing the winners of the Digital Engineering Awards, brought to you, of course, by L&T Technology Services, ISG, and CNBC TV18. And to that effect, I'd like you all to give a large round of applause to each of our panelists. And I'll tell you why. For the uninitiated, these gentlemen, and of course Suja, spent a great deal of time going through an exhaustive list of nominees, each of them winners in their own right. And let's tell you why this was all the more challenging this time around, gentlemen. And that's largely because the overwhelming number of entries that we saw this year, and going through them, sifting through it all to pick out some winners, was no mean feat. And to that extent, I'd like you to give a really big round of applause to each of the members of our jury today. Gentlemen, at the outset, I can't quite help but wonder, and let me start with Prashant maybe, what are some of the significant shifts, Prashant, that you've observed this year around in terms of nominations itself? You are advising enterprises, mostly in North America. How does that compare and contrast with the nominees that you saw this year around in these awards? Was there a significant difference that you observed?
There was, I think, and it was not in the topics. It's been a tough year for all of us. We've all seen interest rates go up, and I think we could see these in the projects. So the world sees interest rates go up, engineering sees the cost of capital go up. And you could see this in the projects. And the suggestions we had, the entrants we had, you could see a direct incremental approach, which we didn't see last time. So ambitions have not gone, but all projects had an incremental approach.
Right.
We saw much more data on value realization and business case. We didn't see it last year. So clearly there's a difference of, okay, I had to justify what I'm doing here. The third thing is the first time we saw we are not doing this alone. Companies have realized that they're doing this in ecosystems.
Right.
So I would say these three were the differences to last year.
I quite like that last observation. We don't live in silos, and that has been manifested more so now than ever before, given the kind of collaboration, given the kind of teamwork that we're seeing, especially even as the world moves forward. It's been a very challenging 3 years, and testament to the fact is that we're still around, we're still thriving. Despite fears of a recession, we are going strong, and that is quite something that pays testament and pays tribute to the resilience of man, if I will. Suja, moving on to you, you've been on multiple boards, and you've run large IT transformation programs. And I get this. While tech is super important, it's almost always people and leadership that, at the end of the day, trumps everything else. How have you seen engineers and engineering leadership evolve through this process of sifting through these nominations? And were there any relevant attributes that stood out for you?
And that is a key element, right? So engineering is not just this one thing. What succeeded last year, most likely it may or may not succeed this year. So that we always are looking at adaptations and adaptiveness across everybody, and in particular, engineers. So the engineers come in different categories, right? I'm talking about digital engineers, so whether it's cloud or software. So there's different aspects of the engineering. But certainly data engineering and AI and the conflation of all of these coming together. So it's not just data and AI engineering, but it's data and AI coupled with a civil aspect, a civil engineering aspect, or an industrial aspect, or other elements. It's the conflation of these things that drives digital, that positions digital for the kind of impact that it makes. So as an engineer, whether you're an individual contributor or a leader, that continued adaptation, especially in particular with data and AI infused into those categories, that becomes key. I think we continue to see a lot more robots, cobots coming up, so the engineer is keeping up with those topics. I echo the business value. I think it used to be the engineers were sitting in a corner. I'm an engineer myself, so in my early days, it wasn't the first thing I thought of. I thought of how elegant my solution was, how well engineered my capability was. But seeing that line of sight, direct line of sight to revenue, to margin, to the value that you create, to the customer that is satisfied with the experience. So that is very important. And you're seeing that because even though product people sort of act as the buffer between engineers and the ultimate business results, engineers having that awareness has become crucial. Of course, engineering leaders have to be talent magnets. Great teams build great products. So an engineering leader must build talent, building engineering giving them the skills, giving them and nurturing them, and the cross-functionality even within the organizations and also with the ecosystem. So building continued talent focus has to be a key. And then communications. I think we were joking about the best dressed engineering party in town, but engineers are not the great communicators. Typically, you find the engineer huddled up, and they're sitting in front of their device, and they are sort of introverted. They're probably mumbling. Usually when somebody mumbles, you know that they are an engineer. Those things have to be overcome, right? You've got to communicate because it's getting complex. You can't solve these problems without communicating with each other.
So which of the attributes in this year's nominations caught your eye, Suja? Something that you would like to mention that you took note of that stood out for you specifically?
I think the risk-taking came out, lots of different. The companies were amazing that participated. The initiatives were outstanding. The stories were beautiful. The stories were impactful. It was very difficult for me. I ended up with a lot of, okay, they all were either 4, 5, 4, 4, and then I had to go back and say, okay, if everybody is a 5, then nobody is a 5. So I had to go back and I had to redo that. I mean, it was that difficult because some write-ups were okay. Some write-ups were more, more punchy, so that made a difference, but I shouldn't really. But I definitely risk-taking, real-life complex problem-solving. This is not just theory. This is not everybody just creating a use case, put some data visualizations. Was sort of 10, 15 years, it was a big digital use case. The business impact was outlined, so that was always, and then data and AI infusion. I think definitely I felt the grit to innovate. The grit to innovate, the grit to impact came through in the nominations.
All right, all right. You know, some cool trivia that some of our audience members might be interested in knowing is that this year around, the number of digital transformation of the year entries and product of the year submissions actually doubled.
Yes.
And interestingly enough, there was we also saw a significant jump in the number of entries from the Europe region, which was also quite interesting. So I can't quite help but ask you, Steve, how would you describe the state of engineering and R&D industry today, the differing challenges and companies that come from both the Europe and the US? And what were some of the challenges, in your opinion, that resonated with these companies from these two geographical regions?
Yeah, no, great question. I think the whole engineering space has grown dramatically over the last 5 years. And organizations have looked at it with this whole digital transformation umbrella and have said, you know, our products are everything now. How we think about engaging, how we think about data, how we bring all of that to the forefront is critical. And there's this big ecosystem that's now taken place where everybody recognizes they have to bring partners, they have to bring expertise together to do it. And that really shined through. But I want to jump on something you said, because when I think about engineers, and I'm an engineer as well, I think about detail-oriented, inquisitive, always want to do a great job. Now, I reviewed all of the proposals, and I had set up some time for it. Samir, who knows, was saying, Steve, you got to get through it, because there was like 200. The level of detail that the engineers provided, engineering plans, detailed project things, I'm opening up zip files. Guys, it made the judging so incredibly difficult because there were so many great stories, and the stories were all about the transformation that's taking place. And that's what we see in the industry.
Absolutely.
And it echoed back or reflected back what we see in the industry. So hats off to everybody that your team submitted or you submitted, and the stories were absolutely amazing.
I mean, we aren't kidding. The fact is that judging these entries was so much tougher this year than the previous one. And this is the second year in succession that the awards are being held. But the challenges while judging has actually quadrupled, if I may say. So Gaurav, over to you now. The fact is you've been leading digital engineering and manufacturing at ISG. Are you seeing a shift today in terms of using emerging technology from POC to scale? And more importantly, how is digital engineering at scale actually being monetized and reflecting in the various deals that you are consulting with today?
Oh, that's a loaded 2 questions. So I'll take the first one. Yes, the answer is there is a definite shift towards scaling it. But that's just not said because people have started to defocus almost from tech and focusing on solutions, right? When the enterprises start focusing on solutions, you suddenly have silos broken down because you can't build a solution in your own silo. You can operate tech in a siloed environment. And that's what was happening in the POC economy that was being run for the last 3 to 5 years, that there were silos which still exist. I'm not by any chance defining that the silos have gone away in manufacturing or in asset-heavy sectors. But the realization that the silos have to go and IT, OT, ET have to come together is what is creating that solution to be built up.
Right.
Now that solution built up is reflected in the deals that we are advising, the stakeholders we are talking, or the entries that we judged, right? If you look at the same entries last year, there were a substantial portion of those entries which were POCs, which were initial ideas. But if you look at the entries this year, be it the product entries, be it the innovation entries, they were all almost at scale, where they were looking to realize value. And that's something that we have found in our own research, going out to about 100 odd manufacturers that we went earlier this year to see how are they seeing value realization happen. Because value realization only happens at scale. You can't define value when you're running a 2-month project.
Right.
So, and that's significantly changed over the last 15 to 20 months, where if you go back to 2022, about 30 to 40% realized specific value out of initiatives they started during COVID. That same number has jumped to 80%, right? And 90% of manufacturing enterprises that we went to believe that they have created a dedicated structure for smart manufacturing or digital threads or a COE for these, giving that focus to run a solution, not a tech shop.
Right.
And I think that's bearing results. And also in the conversations we are having with our clients, it's reflecting. They don't want a solution. They don't want a PLM. They don't want a data set. They want a data-driven organization solution. That requires a PLM to come in, an MES to come in, and how do you treat data to monetize it?
Absolutely, and it's a very fair point that you make. Holistic processes would be the way to go forward, especially given the kind of demands that you have from clients and customers today. Which brings me to my next two panelists, both from the academia, both Jim and Samir. Very incidentally, the fact that we get to hear insights from you in the academia is so crucial to the discussion that we're having today. I can't help by starting with you, Samir. You're based in Singapore.
That's right.
And the fact is that we're seeing digital engineering being leveraged in a massive way in emerging markets. So the question is, how have nominations this year contrasted with, let's say, last year, or generally from your observations, insofar as, if you were to compare and contrast them with the kind of teaching that you give leaders of Fortune 500 companies at INSEAD, are you seeing synergies? Are there differences? Is there a stark contrast? If you could just provide your insights on that.
Yeah, thanks for asking about this, because, there's been a lot of talk about leaders from developed markets who are very interested in conversations with us about how are businesses evolving and innovating in emerging markets. Because there's this concept of emerging markets being a constrained environment where companies tend to leapfrog and skip a few steps in the technology, but not in a way to shortchange what they're doing, but in a way to accelerate how they advance towards innovation. Be it, take an example of moving from no device to cell phones. Like India pretty much skipped the PC movement when it comes to citizens, and they went mobile straight up, right? And that created digital native organizations which were mobile first, and they never had to make that transition. They were just born in the mobile generation. So we've talked a lot about that in our classrooms, and we have executives coming in from all over the world, right? What was very interesting for me to see, and I can't contrast it to last year because I've just done it for this year, was to see the number of entries and compelling entries that we saw from emerging markets, which are really ahead of the game. I mean, I live in Singapore, and Singapore touts itself, very rightfully so, as a smart city, as a city which is really leapfrogging when it comes to technology and innovation. But when I saw the entries from India, I was completely blown away, and I can tell you it was a learning experience. I had no idea, despite being Indian, so they'll probably take my Indian passport away someday. It just completely, in a very proud moment, I saw the amount of stuff that they're doing was mind-boggling. So not only was it interesting to judge, I actually found this to be a learning experience.
Right.
Because I was making my notes as going along, because these conversations are really interesting to the Fortune 500 executives. They want to know how they do it. And Prashant talked about high interest rates, which creates high cost of capital. I mean, in emerging markets, cost of capital is always high. So they're born in that environment where they're innovating. So these things, I think, make it interesting.
And being from India myself, I can't quite agree with you that the fortuitous fact of being born in these times in such an economy that's actually, for them, tech is the new normal. And that's something that, is perfectly okay. And that has brought about a sense of resilience. And I think that goes a long way in pretty much explaining the point that you were driving at, that's why you probably saw so many entries from India in the first place. Jim, I can't help but ask you, what were your experiences like this time around, and how were they different from what you would normally consider to be the norm?
So, well, thank you, Jude, and I'm so pleased to be part of this panel, to be part of the judging group. I saw a study very recently that said coming out of COVID, most major corporations were concerned about cost management. How do we get our expenses under control? How do we survive coming out of COVID? Increasingly, though, companies are looking for new ideas for growth. And what struck me in the set of initiatives, proposals, ideas that I reviewed, how many were about growth. And so this idea, not just about how can we be more efficient, but how can we differentiate? How can we do things differently? And I want to build on something Samir said, that it's not just coming out of the quote-unquote developed markets. That struck me also. It's coming from all corners of the world. And when I was a senior executive at Baxter for a number of years and several other corporations, in my day, you did everything in-house. It wasn't about, and Abbott down the road at Deerfield, Illinois, was a competitor. Today, Baxter and Abbott are working together in a number of areas. So how do we partner more? How do we think differently about our competitive set? And how do we move forward? And I saw that also in many of the proposals. So again, thank you.
All right, absolutely. And it's been an insightful experience, no doubt, for everyone here, judging the awards this time around and seeing just how much it has grown, evolved, and changed over time. So that brings me to my most interesting question. What's the outlook going to be like? Are we going to be seeing more of the same stuff that's going to be radically different? Maybe I can start with Suja. 2024, how do you see the Digital Engineering Awards evolving next year? Do you perhaps think there's scope for new categories, Suja?
Yeah, so I wrote up also a bunch of feedback. This is what happens when you do anything. You can't just, an engineer is always looking for how to improve. So I sent it to Samir. So certainly how we do it, I think we can improve capturing attributes. There's a lot of write-ups, but sometimes the write-ups, you can't, it's difficult to distill out the data points. So maybe just in the mechanics of it, I think there's some opportunities. But also in the awards themselves, I do believe that there are some that we can evolve, right? The space evolves, engineering evolves, the capabilities that are being built, the results that are produced are evolving. So I would think we should think about perhaps a different set of awards that address different things. Like,
what kind of categories come to mind?
What if AI is evolving, right? OpenAI, the large language models are evolving quite rapidly. I don't know whether the architecture would have settled by then. Just even in the last 6 months, the architecture has turned a couple of times. So it will be very interesting to see real life use cases coming out of that and just really spotlighting on that.
Absolutely.
Or even maybe industry specific awards. It's very difficult when you're looking at railway logistics to an energy company to CD had submitted, right? The use cases are so different, so maybe one other opportunity is you go vertically deeper by industry.
Gaurav, potential for new categories you think next year?
She's taken all my answers.
All your answers. But the fact is that evolution in tech
absolutely.
and subsequently
there has
categories.
to be, right? Because there has to be an organic way that the whole thing grows. Because what we are trying to judge and celebrate is growing so rapidly that it's only right that we keep adding more to this table as well.
Sure.
But at the same time, being engineers, we don't want to over-engineer it. We just want to still leave it to a certain degree of fluidity and innovation to come in, but keep it open for new ideas and new structure to be brought in.
All right. In just a few minutes from now, we will enter what is known as a rapid fire round, where I'm going to be asking you guys not so tough questions, but relatively tough questions and put you on the spot. But before that, I want to hear from each and every one of you as to what's the one big piece of engineering tech that you're betting on for the year 2024. I'm going to start with Jim and I'm going to end with Suja. So Jim, what are you betting on for the next year?
Oh gosh, I mean, it's clearly AI, but I think particularly AI in medicine and helping the US healthcare system turn itself around in some way.
All right, AI in healthcare, that's the big thing to look out for. Samir.
similar, but Gen AI in general. I'll tell you why, because I went on a holiday trip with the family last summer. We were stuck because it was raining. We were in Bergen in Norway. It was raining. My kids were going crazy. They wanted to watch Netflix. I said, don't. I said, but you can do something. Why don't you make an app where we can play games with each other? I had an 11 and a 7-year-old. I gave them my access to Gen AI, which was good enough for them to make an app.
All right.
This is going to change the world.
Absolutely. If it's got kids making
7 and 11, they were making an
it's
app.
sure to break the world and make it a better place. Prashant.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the poetry of AI. No one's talking about the plumbing of AI. And that's so in the gold rush of AI, I think we should bet on the pickaxes and shovels. It's purpose-built infrastructure for AI.
Wonderful, purpose-built infrastructure. I didn't quite think of that, and that's a really insightful point. Gaurav, what do you think is going to be the one big thing to look out for in the next year?
I think AI has got to be in the mix, but what it enables is what will be the big thing, right? Like decentralization for sure comes to my mind. You know, decentralized IoT, edge compute, all this has been around, but can it be enabled at scale, leveraging AI that it has never done before? I think that's going to be the big thing, that what it enables in a business scenario that we're trying to grapple with for a few years.
All right. Steve, what are you betting on?
I'm going to go a different direction. I think arguably the biggest tech of the year was India landing on the moon. And that was absolutely amazing with 1/10 of the budget. So if you look at what the US did to land on the moon in 1969 versus what India spent to land on the moon, incredible. I think space tech is going to be drive a lot, but just like NASA, and we learned through the 70s and 80s, the technology, the approach the Indian Space Agency is doing on how to do cost-effective engineering is going to ripple through that economy in such a great way.
Absolutely, and I think that's a very insightful take in terms of space tech and all the opportunities it holds.
Exactly.
Suja, over to you.
So I will tell you what I am not betting on, but I'm still holding my breath on, is the Vision Pro, which is supposed to come in Q1.
All right.
Right, so this is the metaverse that's coming, that is not coming, so we'll see. If anyone in the room has bought the Ray-Ban, whatever it's called, the Ray Meta, okay, he's got, so Steve has got it, so we'll all see a demo from Steve. But I'm with Jim. AI in healthcare, at scale, adopted, healing real patients, creating real value, reducing cost.
Right.
I think AI in healthcare with the real meaningful impacts.
All right, there's AI, and a lot more AI from this panel at least. And that's not entirely surprising given these times that we live in. All right, gentlemen, Suja, we're on to the most, don't applaud yet. We're on to the more interesting part of today's panel discussion, and that's our rapid fire round. So I've got 4 questions, a few minutes left, and all you've got to do is answer in just 1 or 2 words. You can't take too long to think. That's the only criteria. All right? Again, we're gonna start this side and we're gonna keep going. So Jim Austin, first question to you. One word that comes to mind when you think Digital Engineering Awards.
New forms of teamwork.
All right, new forms of teamwork. Samir.
Emerging markets.
Prashant.
Emerging ecosystem.
Gaurav.
Avant-garde.
Okay, Steve.
Cool in the gang. Let's celebrate.
All right. Suja.
Every engineer on this went more than 1 word, so I'm going to stick with 1 word, which is excellence.
Excellence. All right. Excellent. Avant-garde. The options are just too many to count. All right. Second question. One characteristic that defines an engineer at heart. Jim.
A pocket protector.
Samir.
I think risk taker.
Risk taker. Prashant.
Precision.
Precision. All right. Gaurav.
Solving complex problem with simple solutions.
Okay, that's a few words, but I'll give it to you.
I'm an engineer.
Steve.
Inquisitive.
Inquisitive.
Adaptive.
Adaptive. All right. 2024 will be a year of, and you can't say AI. Jim.
Political realignment in the U.S.
Wow. All right. Interesting. This isn't a campaign rally, but I'll give you that. Samir.
Resilience.
Okay.
The tailwind of the thing I'm not allowed to talk about.
And what? Okay. All right. Interesting. Tailwinds it is. Gaurav.
The third and the biggest year of Digital Engineering Awards.
Wow. Wow. That's ambitious. A big round of applause to that. Steve.
Energy transformation.
Okay, and Suja?
Did you say tailwinds?
Tailwinds, yes.
Tailwinds. Yeah, I'm going to echo that. Tailwinds. Lots of
Wow.
tailwinds. Everybody is in moving with great speed. Lots of value creation.
Tailwinds in general or with regard to tech, the political spectrum?
Everything. Tailwinds.
Everything in
Positive,
general.
upbeat.
All right.
Resilient.
Tailwinds it is, and we're moving forward. All right, last question in that case. Digital engineering is here to solve what?
Equity.
Say that again, please.
Equity.
Equity. All right, equity it is. Samir.
Yeah, better world.
A better world. All right, Prashant.
Problems that matter.
Problems that matter. Gaurav.
Complexity.
Steve.
You guys, I'm going to have to go with world problems again.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we're doing.
All right, world problems.
Great value.
Great value.
Yeah.
You know, at the very fulcrum and the heart of all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that digital technology is here to solve problems and problems that matter and lead to a better world. And that is also seen and taken pride of place at each and every one of the nominations that this panel has looked at, which has resulted in some of the more path-breaking awards that you will get the opportunity to be witness to a little later tonight, even as the evening progresses. On that note, gentlemen, Suja, great speaking to you. Thank you so very much for doing this. And all the very best for the years ahead, even as we hopefully herald yet another year of the Digital Engineering Awards. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to this illustrious panel of judges today.
Digital Engineering Award in association with ISG L&T Technology Services, CNBC TV18.
It is time to resume our programming, and you are welcome to continue enjoying your meal as we get ready for our next panel discussion. A very important one. This is Women Engineer of the Year panel. Suja, I hope you haven't gotten too comfortable because I'm going to bring you back up here again. Suja Chandra, I'll invite you to the stage. Now, you've already heard her very impressive bio, serving in every capacity from global operations, digital technology, and business transformation, chief executive and board member across several organizations. She is going to be joined on stage by Allison Bernard, engineering manager, ExxonMobil, and Ala Franklin, Director, Eco Design and Sustainability Program, Intelligent Devices, Rockwell Automation. Unfortunately, Nancy Grossman, indicated in your program, was unable to join us tonight. But how about a nice thank you to our panelists?
So while you're having dinner, I trust you're having a good time at your table. So we're back here as the women's panel. And I am thrilled to speak to the two Women Engineer of the Year finalists. So we'll see who's going to get the award when the awards are announced. But we are super proud of you both, Allison and Ella. Super proud. I'll just add a few more words. Ella, she is a director, Eco Design Sustainable Products Program at Rockwell Automation. And I'm super impressed with everything she has done. You have this material. She's responsible for driving sustainable product design and circular production processes across the company. And Allison is a seasoned project management leader at ExxonMobil who has made significant contributions to the company through leadership and strategic planning. So we'll talk about diversity, right? This one is an interesting topic for me because I am so value-obsessed and value-oriented. So how would you think about diversity? Because meritocracy comes to my mind always. But then when you really think about it, what happens when diverse teams come together is that first and foremost, they start examining data. They start looking at data. They start re-examining data. They start re-examining concepts and the context around it. So in the end, diverse teams do end up coming up with better results. Innovation happens at the intersection of diverse perspectives. So the diversity of perspectives and the fact that the diverse people, everybody is contributing to a different kind of a thinking makes everyone lean forward a little bit, think differently, and ultimately yields a better outcome. And it is proven. It is proven. It is a value case that diversity, not just of gender, but diversity of all kinds and diversity of thought certainly provides a better outcome, and it's very proven in many data-driven cases. Especially in particular, women engineers are crucial. This is one, I was running a data center at some point, and I couldn't find a woman engineer anywhere in the vicinity of 10 miles of a data center. This was like sort of the last bastion for a woman, and I would always be the lone woman in the room. So increasingly, we're seeing more and more women, and these two women are testaments. Allison and Alla are testaments that we have more engineers, and more engineers that are winning awards. So we want to hear from them. So without much ado, so why don't we start with you, Alla? Can you share your journey? How did you become an engineer? What are some of the obstacles? We all go through some obstacles. So what are some of the things you can share through your journey that the audience can learn from?
Happy to do that. First of all, thank you everybody for the opportunity to be here with you and share my story and just share all the amazing award nominees today. So very excited to be here. So again, my name is Alla Franklin, and my journey in engineering really started when I was probably in the middle school. It's in those math and science class and program management classes, in the coding classes, where I wanted to solve the problem. I saw it, and I wanted to know how to get it done. What's the solution? I remember sitting in one of my programming classes, learning in Pascal, for some of you familiar. All right, awesome. And so I was taking the class, and I was thinking to myself, you know, it would be so amazing, and one of those days we're going to be able to program something on the hardware that can be put on an aircraft, and it's going to fly. And so 20 odd years down the road, I was actually, as one of my journeys, working in an organization that was developing hardware and software that was put on the Boeing, and it flew. So that's pretty amazing. So it's kind of reflection on some of the life and some of those dreams that, you know, me and young ladies out there think that maybe it's hard to achieve, but if you go for it, it's possible. And then through the rest of my journey, I traveled the world. It was part of my family journey. We traveled to different countries. And so some of the challenges you might have when you start to learn a new language and you adapt to the new culture, to the new environment, you learn in your way where you go to school. For me, one thing was consistent is to stay focused on what I wanted to do, and I wanted to be a computer science engineer. And so that kind of helped me. So no matter what language we spoke, what culture was that, what's the environment that was around me, one language was common for me. It's the language of programming. And so now, the position that I have, leading some of the enterprise methodologies, practices, and strategies. So kind of looking for my company, for Rockwell Automation, and driving eco-design for sustainability efforts. That's pretty amazing, right? If you look at the entire journey to where we are, and the work that we're doing right now, and the team that I have right now is doing is very significant, right? Eco-design sustainability is the future. On one side, we have regulation that's coming to us from Europe called ESPR that we need to adapt in order to continue to sell products in Europe. And so my company is adapting and incorporating that. And on the other side, it's important for us as a business to do that because it's the right thing, but also because eco-design and sustainable directives will help us first control our manufacturing production costs. It's going to help us monitor and achieve our carbon neutrality by 2030. It's going to also help us achieve some of the other goals around climate risk management or resiliency of our supply chain. So kind of looking at the journey from when I was in middle school, learning those Pascal basics to where I am now. Sometimes it takes time to reflect on that. So I'm incredibly thankful for the journey.
That's a fantastic story. That's a superb story. So you are certainly showing adaptiveness, but staying focused on your ambition, which gives you the ability to have resilience with all those changes.
Absolutely.
And what you're doing now is so incredible and so important to all of us. So keep doing that, not just because of regulatory reasons, but in general. It is the right thing to do, and we are super proud of you. Thank you so much, Alla. Now, how about you? Tell us, you have a great story as well, Allison. Yeah. When we were talking, you shared that. So what is your journey? What does it look like?
Yeah, I'll start with, I have an amazing role model. My mother, her story in itself was a strong testimony of perseverance as a woman. So she was a Chinese Indonesian immigrant. So coming to the United States, she had $100, right? And she started as a nurse and working in the hospital environment. She said, you know what? I can be a doctor. So she put herself through medical school, and today she runs a practice. Yeah. And so from a very young age, I was inspired that women can do anything, right? And so as a young child, I was also very curious, right? A lot of the same qualities that a lot of you as fellow engineers have. And so engineering naturally became my path. But what was interesting is as I started my career, I did notice that women had a different journey than men. It is different and much more challenging, and maybe perhaps due to unconscious bias, right? And so if you look at the statistics, women graduate at much higher rates from college than men, but yet, why is it that when we look at the C-suite, right, there is a disproportionate amount of men versus women, perhaps a little bit of unconscious bias. So not just women, but I want to open the aperture to other minorities in general. We as leaders in this room really have the opportunity to say, hey, when we have an initiative, a project, my team, opportunities in general, maybe I should consider the woman. Maybe I should consider and relook at the first generation college graduate. Maybe I should look at the young engineer who's quiet and overlooked, right? Think of the atypical people on your team and provide opportunity to those people, because that is how we maximize and impact diversity and inclusion.
That's a fabulous point of inspiration. If I were to pull the same thread, are you able to share maybe an incident or something that you did or navigated that helped you that we can learn from?
Absolutely, just going on the thread of diversity and inclusion. So certainly the example of, right, opening the aperture to your team and individuals, I'd actually like to share how you can also implement it on a business scale. So specifically at ExxonMobil, we are investing $250 million, and it's called the Innovation Suite in Louisiana. So several millions of the dollars we're actually earmarking to programs with diverse suppliers. So diverse suppliers examples include women-owned businesses, Black-owned businesses, Asian American-owned businesses, et cetera. And these specific businesses, right, are integral to our economy. Studies show that when you invest in local businesses, not only do you create jobs, but you also stimulate the local economy. So what's really awesome here is that we not only get to meet the project needs and really deliver for our business and our company, but we also get to do something good within our community, and that's a win-win.
That's superb. That is awesome. Thank you. How about you? Let's hear from you, Ella. I know you're passionate about this. You told several things that you've done, but why don't you go ahead and share?
I just wanted to share some of the stories and things that work for me with respect to the diversity and inclusion. So I think that diversity and inclusion is all around us, right? We deal with that every day. It's about our attitude. It's about how we talk, who we talk to, who talks to us, and all the environment that surrounds us. I'm lucky enough to work in a company that actually invests in a diversity inclusion, and we use it as a foundation for driving accelerated growth in our company, because we believe it's going to empower us to be better employees, and it's going to empower us to work better with our customers. And so also with respect to the diversity, when you have that diverse point of view, you open up possibilities for innovation. And so I encourage everyone, here now and everybody who is listening, to continue to invest in reaching this gap in the diversity, whether it's a gender diversity gap or diversity gap in general in your organization. I think that's something that's going to help you grow your business, come up with a new solution and new ideas, and promote some of those inclusion within your organization. Because when you have an employee who feels that they are part of the team, right? Their culture, they open and they feel comfortable working, they are now putting all their attention on the work, on doing something more, making sure that they complete their task instead of being sad or feeling, oh, it's 8 to 5, when will I get home, right? So I think it's important to include that.
Thank you. Thank you for your role modeling, but also your willingness, your leadership in also lifting up other diverse people of diverse backgrounds. I'll just make one statement. Circa 2017, I founded T200, so you can look it up. We had women CXOs in tech, so we had about 250 women CIOs, CTOs, CDOs, CPOs, all the Cs. And then there's another 600 plus rest of the pipeline. So look it up. We just founded it by us, for us. We help each other. So I would invite the two of you and everybody else in your team to come join us. It's a safe space where we can help each other. We chat each other. There's no membership fee. We're a nonprofit. But what kind of advice? We'll go to you on this one, Ella. So there are probably some women engineers in this room, but everybody here could do with your inputs and your advice based on what you've done. So what would be your word of advice to budding women engineers? What can that person, that woman or a person of diverse background sitting in that corner who's lonely, what can you tell her?
I would say be curious. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to learn new things, to meet new people, take the challenge. Don't be afraid to learn something that you didn't know or it's not part of your job. Ask questions. Make yourself seen. Shine. I wanted to give a little bit of a story on that. So about a month ago, I participated in the Society of Women in Engineering conference. It was in LA. It was one of the biggest one that they hold in the last couple of years. And Rockwell sponsored Career Booth, where we met some of the new graduates from colleges and helped them prepare for the interview. We reviewed their resumes and we helped them with some of the questions. And it was interesting to see. So I talked to one young man and a young lady who had very similar qualifications on their resumes. And the gentleman came to me and he showed me his resume, and I said, so what are you looking for? He said, this is the job that I want. And we looked through the descriptions, and he said, out of 12 points on that job, I know how to do 2. So I'm gonna go for it. And then the lady came back, and she had similar qualifications and experiences, and she said that she's applying for a lower position. And I said, why? What about this opportunity? And she said, well, out of 12 things, I only know 11. I don't know how to do the 12, right? And she's saying, now I cannot do it. So I encourage you leaders to talk to your ladies, to women in engineering, and encourage them, provide them support, because this is important. Our mentality is a little bit different. We need to be pushed, we need to be supported, we need to see that hand, and sometimes we need to have those borders that will say, you're gonna be safe, go for it.
That's fantastic. Thank you, thank you. So this was an adage, and I don't know how true it is, but I think on the women's side it's true. Women think in footnote, men think in headline. So it's, I think we're thinking of every single detail.
Not everyone,
but every postscript. So I think that's great advice. And how about you? What would you advise to the budding woman engineer out there? We can see more of Allisons and Ellas.
Yeah, so definitely lean into your strengths, right? Women are naturally great innovators, collaborators, team builders, inspirations, and motivators. And so what's interesting is that Harvard Business Review did an analysis just around the pandemic period on men versus male leaders. It was about 60,000 participants, and it was a 360-degree analysis, and they asked, what do you think of your leaders today? And what was interesting as a result is women actually outperform men in every single important leadership attribute during the survey. Why is that? And they actually found it's because women, during this very difficult time, were able to pull from their inner strengths of communicating timely, being very transparent, honest, and therefore people were able to trust them. That trust that's being built is very important. I myself, during this period, experienced this, right? And because we were able to really harness and employ these qualities, we were able to build the trust and get through a difficult time with the team together. So the lesson in all this that we can learn is when you focus on your people, right, you can really deliver results and bring them with you. So I encourage to lean on your strengths.
Oh, it's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. It reminds me in the heydays of COVID, if you looked around the world, there were so many countries that were, the head of the state was a woman. Those all did so much better in tackling and managing COVID than some of the rest of the country. So it resonates with me, and it wasn't an easy period. Leading through COVID, for all of us in this room, was one of the toughest leadership, and thank you. That's a great set of data that you shared. So what is one of the key takeaway for people in the room as we wrap up and as we wind down from this conversation?
Yep, lean in on your strengths and trust your intuition. That'll take you a far way.
Lean in, trust your intuition. How about you?
For me, it's be courageous and take steps forward, right? Learn new things and don't give up. As a matter of fact, in my office, I have a banner that I created maybe 20 years ago that says, never give up, never surrender. Yes, it's quirky, it's fine, it's from the movie Galaxy Quest, but I absolutely love it because during a week or day or sometimes even within an hour, there are situations that takes you down, and you should be your own biggest cheerleader. And so for me, looking at this banner and knowing that it's been there for 20 plus years, it always supported me. So
that's fantastic. And I will leave this with this little story. I was last week with a group of board directors, and there was this gentleman, and his name is Ron Williams. He sits on the boards of some amazing businesses, Johnson & Johnson, and he was on the board of American Express, Boeing, so just an amazing board director. He's an African-American gentleman, and he said this, and it's public information. So he's 74 years old, 74 or 75, and the same topic of ESG came up. ESG is the diversity topic is one of the aspects of ESG, and ESG is sort of taking a back seat. And you all saw the Harvard College versus SCOTUS, the result that came out of that. So there is a general fear: is ESG taking a back seat? Is diversity and inclusion, is that not going to be a factor? And he spoke from his heart. He told a story that several moons back, when he started his career, he said in this room, which last week there was at least 50% that were women. He said when he started his career, there wouldn't have been a single woman in that room. And he also told a story of his grandmother's parents were slaves, and they were owned by somebody. So he said, my experience and my view on ESG is going to be completely different, irrespective of what is the general common theme. We still have a long way to go. So let's all give it up, lift up people who are the quiet voices, people that are meritorious but are not known, and especially to women, amazing people like Alison and Ella. Thank you both.
thank you, everybody.
Where do you see these digital engineering awards going in the future?
We see this as the first of a great journey forward to put a spotlight on the digital engineers that are making a huge difference.
If you talk to somebody and tell them, we're going to help you to make the world a sustainable world, that's what ticks. And I do believe that engineering and digital engineering can make that happen.
Great to recognize digital engineering. It's great that companies and academia to a certain extent is finally seeing the impact of digital transformation.
I think there's nothing better than peer-to-peer recognition. And I think it's been an honor to just kind of listen to the stories, the innovation.
Yeah, that was excellent. Excellent. All right, everybody. When we say that tonight's nominees are the personification of the spirit of engineering and the epitome of engineering excellence, that is not just something we say. We actually mean that. From programs and products to platforms and people, the organizations and individuals that you'll be hearing from tonight are truly inspiring. Now, this evening, the Digital Engineering Awards are categorized into both team and individual awards, Engineering the Change and Engineer at Heart, respectively. And then those categories are further divided into 9 categories. So let's begin, shall we? I'm excited. All right, to present the award for Digital Engineering Project or Program of the Year, please welcome Prashant Kelkar, Chief Strategy Officer and Partner from ISG. Come on up.
So before I even open this envelope, I want to say something. It took me 3 times more time this time than last time. You're giving us too much data. I went through the ratings twice. I found everybody was 5 and I had to go back. This is getting tough. So I know I'm going to read out winners, but even before I do that, everybody in this room was a winner. It was very, very difficult. I'm forced to read this out, but believe me, it was very, very difficult. So we're going to go in the order, commendables, and then challenger, and then finally we come to the champion, okay? This is how we're going to do this. So we'll start with commendable, and the first commendable award goes to Caterpillar. Their project was digital twin powered by physics-based reduction auto models. I'd like to have Caterpillar on stage. The next commendable winner, Epiroc, autonomous mining domination. And the third, but not the least, Microsoft, with their Connected Airport program. I'd love to have Microsoft on stage. That brings us to the next category, the challengers. The first challenger, Chevron, with their innovation in the digital twin area, scaling to the several assets of Chevron. So, Chevron. And the next challenger, GE Healthcare, in their digital transformation on portrait models. Which then brings us to the champion. The champion this year for Digital Engineering Project Program of the Year is Doosan Group. Doosan Group, with their smart electrical arc furnace controlled by the word I was not told to say today, controlled by AI. I'm going to say it, controlled by AI. But we don't have anyone from Doosan, sadly.
Right.
But
Unfortunately, Doosan Group was unable to be here with us tonight, but we do have an acceptance video to play for you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Oh, Executive Vice President, Head of Corporate Digital, and COO of Doosan Digital Innovation at Doosan Group. We're truly honored and delighted to be a recipient of the Digital Engineering Program of the Year Award. This award is a testament to the power of innovation, collaboration, and excellence. We're proud to be a part of this vibrant and dynamic community that is shaping up the future of digital engineering globally. I'm thrilled to present our AI strategy and execution capability through the AI winning case submitted. We're committed to continuing our journey of digital innovation, pushing the boundaries of what is possible, and making a lasting impact in our industry. Thank you for the recognition, and we look forward to the exciting future ahead. Thank you again.
Excellent. Thank you, Prashant. Thank you so much. And congratulations to Doosan Group and all of tonight's winners. Moving on to the next category. Each nominee in this category is a winner. And here to present the award for Digital Engineer of the Year, please welcome back to our stage Jude Sanit Sujendran. Jude, come on up.
All right, I'm pleased to present and announce the winner of the Digital Engineer of the Year. There is no order to this award. So first up, our first winner of the evening is Edward Smith from Jaguar Land Rover. Give him a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, Edward could not be with us tonight, but even as we celebrate his achievement, let's turn our eyes to the screen, even as he has a short message for us.
Hi Dallas, sorry that I can't be there in person this evening. I'm currently over in the UK near Jaguar Land Rover Global HQ. I just want to say a massive thank you for this Digital Engineer of the Year award, really appreciate it. It's been a super intense project to deliver, and I really appreciate this recognition of all that's been accomplished in such a short space of time. Clearly I can't take all the credit for the project. I've helped lead a small team of fantastic digital specialists at JLR, along with our technical partners at I2G and Accenture Song, to deliver it. I want to thank the whole team for everything that's been achieved here. It's been super successful. And it's great to see that we're already kind of building on this success with even more exciting enhancements to optimize the user experience going forwards, along with a suite of new technologies that we're embedding into the platform going forwards. I hope you're all having a great evening celebrating everyone's successes in the room, and just want to say thanks again for this amazing award. Have a great evening.
Edward Smith, everybody. Our second recipient of the Digital Engineer of the Year, I'm pleased to announce Shamik Shah from Samsung Electronics America. Shamik, come on onto the stage. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, ISG, LTTS, and CNBC for this opportunity. I'm proud to represent Samsung. I have my wife, Reina, who's here to cheer me, and my VP, Nivi. Thank you to both of them for being with me. And thank you again for this award. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us, Shamik. And that brings me to our third recipient. Remember, this is in no particular order. So it pleases me to announce that our third recipient of the Digital Engineer of the Year goes to Tonks Omoniwa from Chevron. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to ISG L&T. I really appreciate the support I've got from everyone, from my team. Even though I'm getting this award, but this is really on behalf of a large team, and that team has been really supportive. I really appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you.
Before I end, I just want to say that it's been such an eventful evening, especially even as we discuss all the path-breaking technologies up ahead. And the awards that go to these winners tonight are a testament of the fact that we're yet to see so much more happening in the years ahead. So on behalf of L&T Technology Services, CNBC TV18, ISG, I just hope we see a lot more innovation, especially when it comes to digital engineering and beyond. All the very best, and congratulations again to the winners. It's been a great evening thus far. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Thank you for that, Jude, and congratulations to those winners, to Edward and Tox and Shamik. Very good. Okay, moving on to the next award. To present the award for Engineering Product of the Year, please welcome back to our stage, this is Gaurav Gupta, Partner and Global Head Digital Engineering with ISG. Come on up, Gaurav.
And as Prashant said, this is again a category that doubled since last year. So no pressure on us. It was so simple and easy to rate everyone. But again, it was so encouraging and enjoyable to go through these entries, learn so much at scale that's being done, and not just to experiment, which we all love. And this celebration starts with the commendable winners, and the first one goes to Delta Flight Products for their wheelchair accessible solution. The second winner for the same category goes to Marelli for a fully active electromechanical suspension system. The second category is the challenger category. And here the award goes to Cypherma for external threat landscape management system. The second Challenger Award goes to Qualcomm Technologies for their Aware platform. And the Champion Category Award goes to Henkel AG for revolutionizing industrial maintenance through Loctite plus IoT solutions. Unfortunately, they are not with us.
So thank you very much. This is great to be recognized by peers. And for us, it started with a vision, and it for sure started with a big team. We have a lot of chemical engineers as an adhesive company. And for us to move into sensor technology, it required a lot of new engineer technology. And that was what made this really special for us, to make it a commercially viable product, to go from chemical engineers, electrical engineers, computer systems engineers. It took a lot, and we're really excited about what we've got now. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right. In the category that we just finished there, we do have a special video because PontoSense was unable to be with us tonight, but let's watch this together.
Hello there, my name is Alex. I'm the CEO here at PontoSense, and we are thrilled to be receiving this award for our in-cabin wireless sensing solution. It's fantastic. And for us, we're able to measure vitals in vehicles, and we're able to understand a lot about human motions, especially as the car becomes more and more autonomous, more and more advanced. What happens inside the vehicle matters more and more as well. A big commitment from our team, a big thank you to all that was involved with this project, all of our partners on the OEM side with automotive as well. We are over the moon with being recognized for this honor. A big thank you to the judges for selecting us. And of course, there were some great nominees this year as well, and we wish the entire industry to move forward because design is at the core of engineering, and together we can save a lot more lives. Have a nice night, everyone.
Congratulations to PontoSense. Moving right along, the next award is for Innovator of the Year. Please welcome to the stage once again, jury member, you know I'm coming to you, Suja Chandra. Please come on up to the stage.
I struggled with this one. There were so many amazing nominations, and I was just sort of scratching, taking notes, and sort of ticking and tying. It was very difficult. But I am extremely thrilled to announce the Engineer at Heart Individual Awards, the Innovator of the Year. We have two, so we'll call out the first one who's in the room, Amit Jain from Chevron. You guys at Chevron seem to be rocking it. Fantastic, fantastic. So let's show this. So why don't you come? Is this the right direction? Is it okay? You hold it, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you say a few words? Can you?
You know, like earlier we had a discussion about engineer at heart, right? So today we are, not today, yesterday when I was getting ready to come here, and my kids said, Dad, are you okay? Because they said, okay, you're wearing dress pants, you're wearing shirt, you're wearing tie, are you okay? Jokes aside, I really want to thank ISG, LTS, CNBC 18 for this recognition for all the work that is going on at Chevron and throughout the industry, all the innovation that's going on. And one of the VPs at Chevron, Barbara Burgers, she used to say, innovation is a team sport. Nobody can innovate on their own. One can have an idea, but it's an idea till you get other folks involved. So this is not just a recognition of my work, but this is a recognition of all the innovation and hard work that we are doing at Chevron. We are moving at the best speed that we can, but cautiously making sure that we are making the right decisions. And a lot of my team members are here who have helped us achieve where we are now today.
Superb, superb. Give it up for Amit Jain. So this next gentleman, who's not in the room, Krishna Chandra Mohapatra from Philips India Limited. And he's not here, but Boris Geiser from Philips is here to accept the award. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Scooch it that way a little bit for your photo.
Do you want to share a few words on behalf of Krishna?
So it's quite interesting that the head of North American sales is coming up here to accept an award for engineers. If this is not stereotypical, I don't know what is. But you know, at the end of the day, I got a note from our colleagues in India, and they asked that I come up and represent. And I recently was just in India a couple months ago at a management meeting, and the amount of innovation that is coming out of the teams there, not just out of Philips, but out of every global, Fortune 500 that has established within India, and the willingness of the people there, and the friendliness, and the machine that is there for engineering is really unbelievable. And I see it throughout. And without the engineers, us sales guys, we don't have anything. So we really, I was very, very thankful for the opportunity. But I do thank everybody here in the room who are really just out there, behind closed doors, toiling away to make guys like me who don't know anything look really good. So appreciate all your efforts and appreciate Krishna as well. He's a talent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to Suja. Congratulations to our winners. All right, moving on. This is award number 5 of 9. To present the award for Top Sustainability Initiative, please help us welcome one of tonight's judges. This is Samir Hasija, Dean of Executive Education from INSEAD. Please join us.
Hi again, everyone. Listen, this is an absolute great honor, and I have to thank Samir, Anirudh, Amit for all your support in getting me here. At heart, I'm an engineer as well. 20 years ago, I went to business school, and I felt like an alien there. I still work at a business school, but because of all of you, I am more relevant in a business school than anybody else. And the engineers are now dominating business school, and it kind of makes sense, right? So super happy and grateful for everything that you do. Now, the Top Sustainability Initiative, and I'm glad that I was invited to give this one away because Amit said this, and I'm very happy I got to hear that. Digital engineering is going to be the sustainable solution for sustainability. And I'm glad you said that. So I'm very happy to be able to give this award. In the commendable category, the first name is AT&T. And this is for revolutionizing communication networks, a sustainable and energy-efficient approach. All right. The next two in the same category are not attending, but I'll still mention their names and their projects. So the second one is Grundfos, and this is for the PLM program, which is to drive a sustainable agenda by leveraging digital capabilities. And the next one, and I mentioned this during the panel, an amazing project and really worth reading about it, is the Patna Smart City Limited, which is transforming waste management practices in Patna through innovative technologies. So congratulations to everybody in this category. The next category in the Top Sustainability Initiative Award is the Challenger category. And for this, the first name is Eaton, the LCA program, Empowering Sustainable Products and Operations. And as you all know, they're not a university. The next in the same category is Philips for redefining your digital radiography with sustainable solutions. All right, we come to the last category of this award, which is the champion category. And this goes to Rockwell Automation.
I think I might cry. I first want to thank our hosts, our organizers, our staff, but I stand in a room of giants. I mean, you know, I can't thank the dozens and dozens and dozens of people who have worked on this project. And you know, a little anecdote about myself, I started the first 15 years of my career in finance and just absolutely hated it and wanted to do something that was close to my heart. Something that I cared about, something that I can make a difference in this world. And it wasn't for the awards, it was just to do something that was right for the earth and for our people and our planet. So keep fighting the good fight. You all are incredible, so thank you, thank you.
Thank you to Samir. Congratulations to Rockwell Automation, and thank you for that very lovely acceptance speech as well. All right, everyone, our next award goes to Value Realization. And to present this award, let's bring back another of tonight's judges, Jim Austin. Come on up, Jim. Here you are.
Clearly not. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to open the envelope. But I'm very pleased to be doing the value part because at the end of the day, this is not about basic science. It's about applied science. It's about what makes growth happen in our different economies. And ideally, we're also heading towards an environmentally friendly, a more equitable society. And it's all of those applied parts of what you all do that make me so proud to be here with you. So, the value realization first goes to BMW Group, Alphabet, Fleet Portal, 360 Fleet. And they're not here. Do they have a video? No. Okay. Second one is to Collins Aerospace. Sorry, Aerospace. And our next one in the commendable is Kylem, live tooling and machine trim operations. Thank you. In the Challenger category, American Honda Motor Company for Reality Technologies, A New Paradigm. Please. Oh, gee. And then once again, Delta Airlines for their driving value for Delta Tech Ops, please. Thank you. And finally, in our champion category, Caterpillar Inc. for unleashing value realization.
I never dreamed this. From an idea 3 years ago to delivering value, it's all I've ever wanted.
Yes, we're going to watch that step. Congratulations to Caterpillar. Oh, sure. All right. Let's see, what do we have here? Yes, the next award. Oh yeah, I like this one. This goes to Woman Engineer of the Year. Yes, we are delighted and proud to be able to honor these remarkable women who have contributed so much to the world of engineering through their extraordinary innovations and expertise. And here to present the award is jury member Stephen Hall, President, ISG EMEA. Come on up, Stephen.
So this award is really going out to exceptional engineers that happen to be women and are really standing out in front of their organizations. If you look at the pictures tonight, what you're going to see is a lot of female engineers that are making a huge difference in the market. Many of the women that we looked at weren't categories of women engineers. As Prashant said earlier, we had 200 pieces that we went through. LTTS, as you can imagine, being an engineering company, had an engineering portal that we had to go through to do it. Exceptional job really thinking through it. So all of the nominees for this, very well deserved. So let me start right off. You've already met her. Exceptional panelists on the last one. Amazing stories. Our first woman engineer of the goes to Alla Franklin, Rockwell Automation.
First of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm honored to be even considered for this award and to be selected. It's quite touching. I just wanted to leave you with just the small words. When I'm thinking about myself, who I am and what I do, so I am a woman, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a leader, I'm a follower, I am a mentor, and I'm a team player, but most importantly, I'm an engineer.
Congratulations, Alan. Thank you for that. So our second award winner this evening for the Women Engineer of the Year Award, you met her as well. Outstanding conversation. Allison Bernard, ExxonMobil.
Wow, what an honor to be Woman Engineer of the Year. I dedicate this award to the sisterhood of women that continue to encourage and embrace and lift each other up. Professionally, thank you to ExxonMobil and LTTS for all the things that we've accomplished together. And on a personal sense, I want to thank God for the opportunities that He's provided our family and blessed us, and my parents who are so courageous to immigrate here and provide opportunities for our future. And lastly, my husband, who is my best friend and the best career decision I've ever made. We're truly a partnership. Thank you.
Now, I wonder if my spouse would say that if I was receiving an award. I don't know. And finally, our third selection, and unfortunately she could not be here, but absolutely fantastic work, fantastic support, Nancy Grossman from Chevron.
And accepting the award on Nancy's behalf is Ola Uluwadiro. If you would come up for a few words. Thank you, Stephen.
Hello, everybody. Unfortunately, Nancy couldn't be here due to a family emergency, but wanted to really, thank LTTS, ISG, and CNBC for this opportunity to accept this on behalf of Nancy. Nancy's an amazing engineer. For our Chevron colleagues who are here, you can attest that she's amazing. She's really helping us drive a lot of our data standards here at Chevron. For any of our digital initiatives, you need to have good data standards, and Nancy sits on the RGP committee helping to drive the Hanover standards for Chevron. She's also helping to lead the data strategy as we deliver a lot of digital initiatives from digital twin to tag lifecycle management. So Nancy's great. She's also being recognized for her diversity initiatives. She established the Chevron Women's Employee Network at Kazakhstan, a way for women to be able to champion and have their voices heard as they talk about issues impacting them. So on behalf of Nancy, thank you all for this award.
Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, Ola. And Ola is too modest to tell you, so I will. She was actually Woman Engineer of the Year last year. Just thought you might want to know. right, only two more awards left, everybody. Now, to present the following two categories, I am going to bring to the stage two folks. Todd D. Lavieri, Vice Chairman and President, ISG Americas, Asia Pacific, and Amit Chadha, CEO and Managing Director, L&T Technology Services. Let's bring both of them up. Come on up, gentlemen. All right, gentlemen, we are going to actually begin with the award for Distinguished Digital Engineer. But before we get to that, Todd, I wondered if you wouldn't mind saying just a few words to the people assembled here before we get into those awards. Sure. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have to move the mic down. Philip's taking us to new heights. I mean, that's the tallest guy I've seen on stage in an awfully long time. Look, I was asked to make a few comments, and so I said, well, so 10 minutes, 20 minutes, do you want me to do slides? What would you like? And they're like, well, and they're trying to be polite, right? You know, and I said, well, so let me ask you this. When am I speaking? You're last. I said, well, okay, this is 2 minutes. Okay, so I got it. Thank you. First of all, a big thank you to LTTS. Amit, of course, Samir. Samir, I heard it was a lunch that was the initiation of this thing. I didn't realize it was cocktails and dinner and everything else, so that's a whole new story we'll have to talk about. But anyway, congratulations to all the nominees. As we know, just a few comments and a few thoughts that are relevant to me on this whole topic of innovation and digital engineering. Engineering-led transformations are obviously changing the world in every industry we know, every industry we work in, healthcare, transportation, manufacturing, retail, aerospace, energy and utilities, and so on. We know as these technologies converge, functions converge and integrate, right? Digital marketing, engineering, production, everything is coming together. Innovation leads to innovation. I'm from Connecticut. By the way, where's the Loctite team? Loctite team. This is actually, I didn't plan on this, but a tiny little anecdote about the importance of engineering in a society. The inventor of Loctite is a guy by the name of Vern Kriebel. Vern Kriebel was a chemistry professor at Trinity College, where I graduated from. He was a professor in the 50s. You get there's the Vern Kriebel Science Center, and you realize, Vern Kriebel is all over this. Trinity ends up being not only a liberal arts college, but one of the few liberal arts colleges with a phenomenal engineering department, all because of Loctite and Vern Kriebel. But one other little thing. Obviously, he was very generous to the college. A lot of the professors invested in Loctite when it went public. It made a lot of money, and they worked at Trinity for $1. So Trinity always had a high or very low student-to-professor ratio because you couldn't get rid of these guys. They had a lot of money. They didn't want to do anything. They didn't want to leave. They didn't have to really work. And so you'd have 9 people in a class that should have had 25 or something like that. But it was all because of Vern Kriebel. And he invents this in the basement of the chemistry, at the time, the chemistry building. Fantastic story. So obviously, congratulations. But I'm from Connecticut, and we've been leaders in engineering forever, for decades, centuries. Aerospace, machine tools, nuclear submarines, to name a few things. Anybody ever hear of Harvey Hubble? Harvey Hubble, maybe? We all know Edison invented the light bulb. Harvey Hubble invented the chain pole light socket and the 2-prong plug. To me, that's the best example of innovation leads to innovation, right? I mean, it's a perfect Connecticut-based story, but you heard it tonight about the things that were done, the innovations, the work that was done, the successes, the awards. So I'm going to talk about 5 very quickly areas that I'm particularly interested in around engineering and engineering innovation. I think I have a big impact in the next decade. Number 1, sustainable power generation. To me, that is a really exciting area. Virtual power plants that link all the distributed and generation and storage and sources of power. Modular nuclear, look it up, modular nuclear reactors. What could go wrong? And maybe, who knows, we could be skeptical, maybe a working fusion reactor that generates more power than it uses. We'll see. 2, optimization, the interconnectivity of the Internet of Things. Going to be, I think, obviously something very significant as it continues to evolve. Innovation leading to innovation. 3, microsatellites, CubeSats. I call that the next big thing, nanosatellites. Look, they're really indispensable tools for the things that they really do. These are satellites, if you're not aware of them, that are the size of coffee mugs. And they can monitor environmental changes, crop yields. They're low orbiting satellites, natural disasters. They can carry scientific instruments, communication equipment, telescopes, cameras, and so forth. Unbelievable technology. Number 4 has to be digital twins. We've talked about that a lot. But I think from heavy equipment to automobiles to med devices, digital twins, no question about it, will continue to be an important aspect in development. But maybe lastly, and this is one that's just near and dear to me, and it was touched on a few times tonight, med device innovations, wearables. Yeah, we got wearables. Everybody has wearables. Medical robots, use of micro and nanobots to deliver targeted treatments, immersive technologies, enhancing product design using virtual reality, augmented reality, extended reality, artificial intelligence, application of algorithms for the learning and the detection and diagnosis and treatment of diseases, smart bandages, bandages that have sensors to track the healing of wounds and so forth. I could go on forever. I think the next decade will be mind-blowing. 10 years from now, we're going to look back and just be in awe of all that's happened and all that it will lead to. So with so many great ideas and opportunities, I think the biggest challenge that we have in engineering services and the biggest challenge that we face is the optimization and the use and allocation of capital. There are so many good ideas. There are so many great ideas. I don't think organizations, companies, and clients know what to prioritize and what to leave on the cutting room floor. There's just so many great ideas. You just heard a few tonight, and it's amazing. And what we're doing and what we're watching and what we're involved with really is quite remarkable. So with that, this is a great time, a very exciting time. I'm excited to share it with you, share it with Amit, LTTS, all of you, and everything that's going on in the market today and all the things that we can do. So with that, let's get to the final 2 awards. Thank you. 2 minutes. All right.
Thank you for that, Todd. So as a reminder to our audience, we are going to begin with the Distinguished Digital Engineer Award. And Amit, would you do the honors here?
So the Distinguished Digital Engineer Award goes to Dr. Luis Fernando Hio de Bacler from Eton.
So, thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be recognized as a distinguished digital engineer and receive this award. Thank you, the judges, and L&T Technology Services, ISG, and CNBC for this. When I started, I could never dream of the journey that I had ahead. And how I come so far, starting with support from my parents, my father being an engineer himself, and my mother, especially my mother, who strongly supported me through long years of studying, and those were long years from bachelor's to master's and to the PhD degree. And then my wife, herself an engineer at Pratt & Whitney, and my 2 daughters. One is also an environmental engineer. There's a pattern here, but she's an environmental engineer at GE Healthcare, and the second daughter is on the financial side at UBS. It's the best to be surrounded by women and appreciate their diverse perspectives. And here goes a shout out for the women in engineering. Keep growing. We need you, so please keep growing. So what a great time to be a digital engineer. With the challenges we have ahead on climate changes and creating innovative and sustainable, safe, secure solutions to address them. We at Eton, and Eton is very proud to be in the center of these, in creating sustainable solutions that not only enable a better environment, but also enable our customers to create their own sustainable solutions. So we are very happy to be there, very proud to create these solutions and be part of the energy transition into renewable sources and electrification of the world, combining the digital technologies, including AI, although we're not supposed to be saying AI here, but yeah, AI and many other emerging technologies are there. Power electronics being one of them, it's changing a lot of the things we do in energy transition. So being part of this is we are able to accelerate all the changes and the development of the solutions. I look forward to being a witness and being part of what's ahead, and I appreciate the Digital Engineering Awards that promotes and celebrates engineering excellence. Thank you again for this award. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Dr. Luis Fernando Huet de Bacelar. Congratulations. All right, this is it, folks. The final award of the night, and it is a biggie. This is Digital Transformation of the Year. And we're passing over the envelope. Take it away, gentlemen.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so Digital Transformation of the Year. Starting with our commendable winners. Ready to go? Okay, Johnson & Johnson MedTech, J&J MedTech Digital Surgery Platform. Congratulations. Okay, our next winner in the commendable category, Philips, Embracing Predictive Design. Okay, and our third winner in the commendable category for Digital Transformation of the Year, Vestas Wind Systems, unlocking a new era of excellence with Vesta Blade Runner, evaluating wind turbine blade innovation. Congratulations.
So now we're on to the Challenger category. And the Challenger category goes to CN. 1, Supply Chain Integration and Orchestration. The next Challenger category goes to Honeywell for end-to-end emissions management, helping to zero in on net zero.
Okay.
And then I do the speech.
Right, okay. Okay, and our champion for the digital transformation of the year, drum roll, ExxonMobil, Reality First Project, optimizing energy sector operations.
So I want to say thank you for having us and hosting us. Thank you for sponsoring and all the people that showed up. And I'd like to say shout out to my friends in the oil and gas industry. Good to see everybody here. So, but also I wanted to say that it's a teams of teams that make this happen, right? You stand up here, you accept it, but at the same time, there's a ton of people that make this work. But I do want to recognize our senior leadership actually, that actually supports us and gives us that capital we talk about to test and innovate and be provocative with our ideas. So thank you.
Congratulations to ExxonMobil and all of tonight's nominees and finalists. And Amit, I'm going to turn things over to you for a few final words before we wrap up the evening.
Before I start, I heard you say you're thanking your senior leadership. I wish and hope some of my team would do that as well. But before we start, if I may, if we can give a standing ovation to all the winners for tonight. Okay, so we're coming to an end here. I'm reminded of this quote. I use that towards the end of every quarter. Do it here. Here it goes. Don't downgrade your dreams to fit your present reality. Upgrade your attitude, discipline, and skills to match your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very true for us, for each one of us, on any given day. And if you look at the submissions that came in, we had about 200 plus nominations. I'm told there was about 100 plus hours that was spent by the judges. And thank you so much to the judges to come in and do this voluntarily on their own. And I would once again applaud them for the efforts that they have put in. And Women Engineers of the Year is a very important thing. I mean, LTTS, we stand for it. We started the journey in 2009. It used to be about 6% engineers were women. We're today at about 24%. And the mandate given to us by our board is to get to 35%. Right? So congratulations on that. Now, when I met with you last time, we talked about taking 6 bets, all right? And these were around electric autonomous connected vehicles, digital products, digital manufacturing, med tech, sustainability, and 5G. I do want to share with you that over the last 1 year, LTTS has breached the 1,000 patents filed cumulatively for clients and ourselves. And just in the last year alone, we have filed 200 patents for our customers and ourselves. And I know you talked about capital allocation. I'm reminded of that every day. We publicly traded. But we are making inroads into software-defined vehicles, AI, and digital products, and we'll talk about it more. Finally, I would like to thank CNBC TV18 and ISG. It's been a true partnership in getting so far. The first time we did this, I was told that we will find the, what is it called, Samir? Green room in New York? Gaurav? Rainbow room. So we were told you'll do this in the rainbow room, and Samir thought, we're going to try and get done with the rainbow room and try to do it in Dallas. Well, next time we need to find the rainbow room and do it there. But again, thank you so much. Appreciate your coming out, especially guests that have flown in from Europe to be here tonight and from all over the US. Thank you again. God bless, and look forward to meeting you outside and celebrating each one of you. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you very much, Amit, for your comments, and Todd as well, wherever you there you are, Todd. Thank you for your remarks as well. Well, everybody, congratulations once more to all of tonight's award recipients. On behalf of ISG, L&T Technology Services, and CNBC TV18, thank you for attending tonight's awards and helping to make it such a wonderful evening. We hope you had a great time. A special thank you to our venue, Stonebriar Weston, and the fantastic staff who've been taking care of us this evening. Yes, yes. Remember, tell your colleagues about the Digital Engineering Awards. Spread the word. Be thinking about next year's nominations. Have a good night, everybody, and thank you.
Digital Engineering Award in association with ISG, L&T Technology Services, CNBC TV18.